Hey guys, this is Christine and Emily over at Mirror Mirror, and today we're going to be doing a quick and easy daytime look using the new Bobbi Telluride palette.
We're gonna start first with our eye sweep brush, and we're gonna take the light color here, and we're gonna go right over the lid. We already prepped her lid with a vanilla shadow stick to help prep and prime the lid so it stays all day. By doing the lighter color, you're gonna add a little bit more brightness to her lid. You can just go ahead and sweep it right over the whole lid. The eye sweep brush does a really good job of getting it all over the lid without creating a mess and blending really well. The tools are super important to get your eye exactly the way that you want it. Okay, so now we brightened her up a little bit with the lighter color, and then with my blending brush, I'm gonna go right into this nice pink color right here and do a little contour in her crease. It's great for daytime because it adds just a little bit of color, but not with too much color on her lid. Just blend back and forth this windshield wiper motion, and just keep blending till it gets nice and smooth and blended. The brush will do all the work for you. So right into the crease and just on the outer corner, sweeping down. Just gonna do the same thing on the other eye. Pop the blending brush right into the crease, back and forth, windshield wiper motion. Just really gently, and then right onto the outer corner. To give her a little contour to the eye. It's a really pretty color because it has a little bit of pink in it, so it just brightens up the eye. It's a fun color for summertime. Nice and blended and soft. Then we're going to take our eyelining brush. I'm going to go right into the darker color, and I use it actually dry. I'm just going to go right over Kristine's lash line just to enhance the root of her lashes to make it look full and thick, but super natural. Just tuck it right in there. Just making small little dashes. It's really hard to make one straight line and the eye is curved. So by making little dashes, it's easier on you. And we're just concentrating right on the root of the lash. It just kind of gives a punch to the root of the lash, but not too much. And it's a little bit smokier. Same thing on the other eye, right up by your lash line. And don't be afraid to use your hand as your palette. You can see there's color on my hand. I kind of dab the brush on my hand first to know how much color I'm working with, so you're never working with too much or too little. Okay, now that we've done Kristine's eyes, we're gonna, with a shadow color, we're gonna put a little smoky eye mascara on her. This is a great mascara. It really lengthens. You can see the brush, so it gives you nice full length, long lashes. I always use black because it really enhances the color of the eyes, and it makes the white of the eye look really white. That's nice. Really get to the root of the lash, wiggle, and brush through. That's super nice. You can put it on the bottom lashes. Usually for daytime I just keep it on the top, but it's personal preference really. So now that we've added color on Kristine's eyes and we did her foundation and her concealer earlier, we're actually going to add color back into her face. Because we took all the color out, you want to add color back in. So we're going to bronze Kristine's face up a little bit. The bronzer goes where the sun naturally hits your face. I'm going to use the Golden Light Bronzer. I love it because it just gives you a little hint of color. It looks natural. So where the sun would naturally hit your face is basically a C into a 3, and then you can go down the nose on the chin. You can complete the the motion of the C into the 3 if you want to, because it contours the jawline as well. And we're gonna go slightly below Kristine's high point of her cheekbone, because the high point of her cheekbone is where we're gonna highlight, and if we place it slightly below, then we're gonna contour her cheek a little bit more, because she has great cheekbones. We're just gonna make them pop. So C, back down into a 3. You can go right down the neck as well, because we all get color here, but it's really hard to get color underneath where your chin sits. Down through there. So you can start to see how the bronzer just warms up her face really nicely. See one side without, one side with. I think the most important thing too when you're doing bronzer is, especially on the forehead, making sure that you really get right to the hairline, because if you're just sweeping right across the forehead and you have a little gap of color right through here, you really start to notice it. And when you're outside, your whole forehead gets a little bit of color, so make sure you really fill it in there. And especially with somebody like Kristine with bright blonde hair, you want to make sure you're not pushing it. Like, you can either hold your hand there so you don't get it on her hair, or you can just be really careful not to push it onto the blonde, because you start to see the bronzer. You can finish down the nose, on the chin, just with whatever left over on your brush. So it really starts to bring out our nice cheekbones. Next we're going to do a little blush. I love the Pale Pink Pot Rouge. It's one of my favorite colors. It has a little blue base to it, so it really makes white of the eyes look white, makes the smile look white. Just makes a really pretty color for the cheeks. So what I do is I take a little bit on my fingertip, just like that. You don't want to swirl it, because then you're going to get way too much color. Look how much pigment that is. So if you just tap, and then tap right to the apple of the cheek, you're going to get more of a just like really pretty rosy flush color. So I just gently tap and smile for me. Perfect. We're going to go right off the apple of the cheek. That's where you naturally flush, so you want to keep it really right within this area, going off the high apple, but not past the brow. Blending down and out and up the cheekbone, and I'm just going to let my finger literally fall right off the apple of her cheek. So we're not going to drag it down, we're just going to let it fall right off so it looks really nice and natural. The reason we also do the high point of the apple of the cheek is the less space we have between under our eye and the apple of the cheek, the more awake we're going to look. If we start our blush down here, it literally makes the under eye look that much longer. And by following the cheekbone up, we're giving ourselves a nice lifted look. I think another really important tip is we all look at ourselves really close in the mirror all the time. Make sure you take a step back. Arm's length is social distance. That's what people really look at you from. So you want to make sure that you really take a step back and look, is everything blended? Does it look good? Because you might want to add more. You might want to blend more when you take a step back in the mirror. That's really pretty nice and natural. And you can actually use the Pot Rouge on the lips too, but we're actually going to use, for Kristine, one of my favorite colors in gloss, which is the Pink Sugar. I've used it probably for like 10 years. I love it. I won't give it up ever. Just take a little bit of gloss. Kristine has nice natural pigment to her lips, so just doing a little bit of Pink Sugar will bring out the natural color in the lips, and it has that pearl essence to it, which is really nice. This looks really good over any lipstick as well. So if you want to wear it over something or just by itself, it's a really pretty color. I love it. I'm obsessed. I love it. Okay. Now we're going to go in and do a little highlight on Kristine. This is, again, one of my cult favorite products. It's the Shimmer Brick, and the new Shimmer Brick, actually, in Sunset Pink. You can actually use this on eyes and to highlight the face. I definitely don't suggest doing it all over the face. Some people go crazy and do all over the face, but in pictures it will actually give you almost like a Tin Man effect where it's super shiny everywhere. Yeah. So we're going to place it right on the high points of her cheeks. I'm going to do a little bit sort of like a V shape here and just sweep it And just make sure when you're working from cream to powder that your cream products are dry, because you never want to put a powder on top of a creamy product that's not dry, because it'll stick to it. Again, just the high points of the cheekbone at our V shape right here. I'm actually going to take a little bit of the lighter color here, just a little shadow brush, and I go right underneath her brow bone to create that little soft highlight. I love it. It gives such a soft, pretty little glow. Anything that gives your skin a glow and that radiance is really awesome. You can do the inner corner of the eye. Just make sure it's nice and blended. You can do the bow of the lip too. It actually gives your lip a little bit of a pout. Kristine has a really nice defined lip, so I'm not going to do that on her today. The next important thing is brows. Kristine actually has really awesome brows. We're not going to fill them in too much. Really what we're going to do, I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown new Perfectly Defined Long Wear Brow Pencil. It's awesome. I'm just going to brush the brows up and over. Even just brushing the brows makes a huge difference, because it really gives a lift to the face. A lot of people kind of ignore their brows, but they're really important because they really help frame your face and your eyes. So the general rule for brows as well is if you take your brow pencil and you go from the corner of your nose, you're going to measure right from the corner of the nose to the corner of the eye. That's where it should start. Corner of the nose to over the center of the eye is where your arch should be. And then the corner of the nose to the corner of the eye to the temple is where your brow should end. So I'm going to extend Kristine's brow just a smidge on the end because it'll really define her eyes and her face. Personal opinion, I think the brows look better when they're not heavy through the front, because if they're heavy through the front, they tend to make the eyes sort of look like you're grumpy. So that's really pretty. So again, the measurement is the corner of the nose to the eye, corner of the nose to the center of the eye is where your arch should be, and then corner of the nose, corner of the eye to the temple is where it should end. So you can see we're going to extend it just a smidge. It's already combed through, so that's perfect. Just a light feathering motion. I don't know why, but everybody always thinks of the brow pencil you got to press really hard. These new pencils are really lightweight. They're not waxy or heavy at all. So you can get a really nice brow with just a light touch. And again, just brush through after you're done, because sometimes that combs through color that may have been stuck in a certain area. Awesome. So one other thing I'm going to show you is how to take your Telluride palette, which we did on Kristine, which we did a day look. We're going to take it tonight. I'm going to add a little bit of the plum color, and then I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle over top just to give it a little flair. So I'm going to take the brush I used to highlight under Kristine's brow, and I'm actually going to go right into the purple color. Saturate both sides. Again, use your hand as a palette. Tap that color into your hand. That way you know how much you're working with, and then give it a good shake. What happens is when you tap it into your hand, you work the color into the bristles of the brush, allowing it to be an even application. So we're just going to go on the outer corner into the crease. You can see where I'm going to go because I didn't blend it yet, so it's just a small little V shape. And depending on your eye shape, you may want to vary that. I'm going to go back with my blending brush and just go ahead back and forth windshield wiper motion and just keep blending until it's nice and soft. And again, look close in the mirror and then back it up and see what it looks like at a distance. You want to make sure that's really nice and blended. No hard lines, really soft. You want the colors to melt together. Really pretty, nice and soft. So you can see it adds a little bit more of a flare from one eye to the other, but it's still really nice and soft. So again, I'm gonna go right into the color, tap into your hand, know how much color you're working with, give it a good shake, tap off the excess color, this V shape. And again, different eyes you can do different looks on. If you feel like your eyes are really, you know, almond shape, you can do this shape as well because it brings out more of the almond shape. Kristine's eyes are nice and big with a little bit of almond shape to them, so this works really well. Back and forth windshield wiper motion. Just keep blending, nice and soft. Again, look close in the mirror and then take that step back and see what it looks like at a distance. Because you may want to add more or take some more color away by blending. Less is more. You can always go and add more. It's hard to take away. That looks beautiful. And if you want to give it even more flair, you can take our liner brush from before, the ultrafine liner. It goes right into that purple color as well. Again, always checking on the back of your hand. And look up for me. You can sweep it right by the lash line on the bottom. Don't be afraid to use your fingers too. Your fingers are great tools. The natural heat from your finger really moves product nicely. Take a little bit of the sparkle. This guy, I actually really like to go just with my finger, and then you're just gonna press right over top of the eye. Just really gently over the whole eye. It's really pretty when the light hits. It's like a little disco ball in your eye. Kristine's always down for the disco.
Love the disco.
Awesome, that's your day to night Telluride Bobbi Brown look.
Thanks so much for watching our first video, guys. Please subscribe to the Mirror Mirror channel for more tips and tricks from all our awesome products we have in the store.